Hi, I'm Tisha,
I'm Loren.
and this is the Open Booked podcast. Today, we are talking about From Blood and Ash by Jennifer L Armentrout, the first in the series. I really liked it.
Oh, I did too.
Yeah.
Every time I think I am a smut girl, I'm a thriller girl, every time I put myself in a genre, I read a book in another genre and say, no, I'm definitely a romantasy girl. So right now I'm convincing myself that, romantasy is my favorite, but then, I'll read a Lucy Foley and then,
Mm-hmm.
go back to thriller. It's funny,
Yeah.
but I did thoroughly enjoy this book. I put it in the same category as like Akatar, Crescent
Yeah.
City, The Serpent and the Wings of Night, which I don't think you've read those yet, but
Not
you
yet.
have to. Fourth Wing, I'm sure Throne of Glass, which we talked about that at dinner last night.
Yeah.
But like I put it in like that special category of like good romantasy series, and I've only read the first book, so
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, I didn't really go into it expecting anything, so I was pleasantly surprised, and I was like, I really like this. And that's why I texted you. I was like, you have to read this. It's vampires.
I love vampires. We all know this. If you're listening, you're like, Lauren's a vampire girl. Yeah, Tisha literally texted me. It's like, there's vampires in this book. You'll like it. And I was like, bet. Let me finish my fluffy book I'm reading right now. And then I'll start it. Turns out I did not finish the fluffy book because I got excited when she told me that. I just paused that shit and went over.
Oh man.
But yeah, I'm assuming you're reading the next in the series right now. Are you on book 2 or 3?
Yeah, I'm almost done with 2. I think I have like 45 minutes left.
Sweet. Yeah, I just finished 1 this morning. Well, I say this morning. About 45 minutes ago, I texted her when I was done and was like, I'm ready. So it's fresh, hot off the press, y'all. And then when we get done with this, if I don't take a nap, I'm debating between going to Hobby Lobby and just buying a bunch of 50% off Christmas shit that I'm not going to decorate with because my house is under construction, or taking a nap, or reading this book. So I have 3 options. We'll see which one I choose. I'm going to start the second one pretty soon. But
yeah, it helps that they're all on Everand, so we can just power through them. We don't have to wait for Libby or anything like that.
Do you want to talk about how your beef with Everand right now?
Oh my gosh.
I meant to talk about it last week, but I forgot about it until you said that, and I'm like, okay, let's discuss.
I might have deleted it. So Everand, it's always been one flat price, like $13 after whatever taxes or and you just get access to everything. Like things come and go, so you kind of have like a sense of urgency to read things as you want to, or you might have to wait a month or whatever. So and they can literally come and go any day of the month, any like middle of the month, whatever. So now they have like a premium version that's like $17 a month, which gives you basically the same thing we're paying for now, but you get 1 free, or maybe it's 2 free unlocks per month.
On the higher one.
Yeah, so 2 free unlocks, which I don't know what an unlock is. I'm not going to switch until they absolutely force me to, because the lower tier is still the same price, but it's only 1 free unlock. So I don't know what the unlock is, and I don't want to find out until I absolutely have to. But I'm assuming it's like Audible.
Like Audible, yes, we had the same exact thought. That's how I pictured it. And I got an email after you had texted me that. I was like, wait, what the fuck? I had no clue. And then I had gotten an email and just hadn't read all of it yet. But my understanding is if you don't get the unlocks, it's like the same library we have access to now. But they're adding more books. And if you want to read those other books, you can use the unlocks or credits to do it. Now, my question is Is it like Audible, where when I use a credit for that book is mine and I can read it 10 times? Or is it like as it ebbs and flows? Because as you said, my biggest complaint about Everand, other than the car issue, which I think is resolved now, we talked about that a few months ago. It's not. It doesn't.
It did it to me yesterday morning.
Oh my god. So, okay. Other than that, my biggest beef with them is shit just comes and goes. Like, you can literally be in the middle of a book, no rhyme or reason, and then the next day you log in and it's gone, and then I gotta go buy it on Audible to finish it. The car thing, oh my god, it's like you plug into your car or Bluetooth to your car. I've had it to where I literally, it was an aux, and it starts the book over. It doesn't matter if it's
happened to me yesterday morning.
Bluetooth, were you on CarPlay?
Yeah.
CarPlay, Bluetooth, aux, whatever. It just starts the fucking shit over. So I've gotten to where when I open my Audible app when I'm getting in the car, I look at my time left just in case it does that shit to me.
Same.
The first couple of times I was like, oh my god, where even was I? I don't even know.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're a little annoyed, but we're gonna hold the line because it's working great now. Literally, that's why both of us, honestly, have busted out so many books, is Everand, to be honest. Like, that's probably my main used app. What about you?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. It's between that and Libby, but Libby is just so much waiting for, like, the stuff I really want to read, so I don't use it as much.
Every time I try to find a book on Libby or Hoopla, it's like a 10-month wait or some shit like that. So
or they don't even have it.
Or it's not even on there. I'm searching it. I'm like, this is a library that every book should at least be in this database. But no, Everand I can find a lot, and then also with having KU and then that other app that reads it, Speechify. That reads it. I've actually done quite a few books that way now, and then Audible. I get my 1 credit a month plus the thousands. Also, if the book is less than like $15 on Audible, it's starting to add up, but I'll just buy it because I could buy a $25 book with my $15 credit. So I kind of do some math here.
Same.
Yeah, but yeah, I mean, we probably spend a lot of money on
books, lots, and audiobooks.
Subscriptions.
So I was looking at those screenshots, and apparently you don't get to keep it if you do one of the unlocks, which is bullshit. Yeah. And they expire after 30 days. So if you like use a credit but don't get to listen to it or read it in that 30 days, it expires. So you've just wasted an unlock.
Yeah, I am not going to be switching.
Definitely
because Audible, some months I'll forget and I'll rack up a few credits. Yeah. Or I'll just be busting through like this series on Everand. Like, how many books is there? 4 or 5? I don't even know. We'll figure it out as we get to them. But
yeah,
I'll be in Everand for a while, and then I'll go over to Audible and be like, oh, cool, I have 2 credits because they just let them pile up. So that's kind of shitty. How many people just open that up and were like, cool, more titles? Check the box, click.
Literally, and I guarantee that's what they counted on. People not reading the fine print.
That expiration and not keep it. I mean, I'd rather have Audible. That book's mine. Yeah, I have a whole library. I have all of ACOTAR. I have all Crescent City. I have Fourth Wing. I have all of like these big romantic series we're talking about. I have them all in Audible that I use credits for or bought. And I can just listen to them whenever I want. That would be worth switching to the new plan if that was the case. But
yeah. So we're beefing with Everand on that. So sorry to anyone that we recommended that to, and then they just completely switched the game on us.
Maybe that they'll let like the old OGs be grandfathered in. Because we had it, y'all, when it was called Scribed.
Yeah.
I still call it Scribed. I texted Tisha when it changed names because I didn't get an email or nothing. And I was like, I couldn't find my Scribed app because it updated. Yeah. And it was called Everand. It was a completely different color.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, so we've had it for years.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, it's like all good things, I guess, end up getting busted. Like MoviePass. Did you ever have that?
Mm-mm.
Oh, shit.
Oh, yeah. For Malco? Yeah.
No, it was any movie theater. We got them when we were, we had that house in Bearville and we were moving up here. So we were up here all the time. We were house shopping and we'd make it a date night, go to the movies, whatever. So we found out about this thing called Movie Pass, and it was $6 a month per person. I'm going to say this again, $6. Jesse and I get these little cards, they're red, Movie Pass, and it has an app. And you can go unlimited, but the only thing is it has to be like within 24 hours. You do 2 within 24 hours. So that when we first moved up here, the first 2 weeks, you can see the same movie over and over again. We went every single night for like 2 weeks because we were like, fuck it, and just kept going and going. Okay, then they changed it to where, okay, it's now going to go from $6 to $8, and we're like, still worth it. Movie tickets are like, at this time, this was before COVID, so they were probably like $8.59. $10, yeah, 10. Yeah, they hadn't like jumped up to what they are now, which they're really still not that expensive. It's the snacks that is $100, but we were like, okay, that's still fine. And then they limited it to 2 a week, and we're like, okay, as much as we see movies, that's still really worth it. And then it got to the point where you had to, like, they wouldn't let you check in and get your assigned seating. And it just, like, every few months, they took more and more away. Then the whole company went bankrupt. I'm like,
wonder why.
They're losing money. Like, they could have charged $40 a month for us at this point, and they would still have been losing money because we didn't care. If it was a movie, we went and saw it because we could, and it was free. We'd go to Dollar Tree and get a snack pack of Sour Patch Kids. But I mean, like, there was a solid year where we were there all the fucking time when we first moved up here. And yeah, it went away. It's just like that. Like, when you find something that's a good deal, you're not making money.
No.
So, hopefully it's not a Movie Pass situation and everything's going to be fine, but,
Yeah, we'll see.
Be like that sometimes. Okay, should we talk drama?
Which one do we want to start with?
Well, first, let's just, say rest in peace, Ben. You're a precious angel, and all dogs go to heaven. And yes. I definitely told Tisha earlier I cried for 30 minutes today. We're recording this on Saturday, not Sunday like usual. And today is college football game day. And I usually just put it on while I'm cleaning. And they did this little tribute to Ben, and I lost my shit. Okay, if you don't know who Ben is, an angel. Look it up. Look up the video. ESPN college game day. It's announcer's dog. He's been bringing him with him for years. He's been every freaking college football stadium across the country. Yeah. He flies. He goes to the hotel. They make him guest passes. It's the most precious thing ever. Well, unfortunately, cancer won. And so it's rest in peace, Ben. All dogs go to heaven. Yeah. I just thought it was worth mentioning here. So the internet's missing Ben. Okay, on a different note. Fuck Zach Bryan, man.
Fuck him. Like,
dude, this motherfucker. So I kind of thought, just from like his run-in with the police, right? Like, you remember when that came out that he was like,
100.
He was
super
like, douchebag?
Fucking take me to jail. I don't care. Yeah. I was like,
yeah. Well, then I heard he like got super physical. Like, he's a very physical person. Okay, I had heard that. Maybe that was like because he had shit before he got famous. And then he had the obvious famous arrest, right? And then now it's like this pattern. I think we mentioned it last week where it's like, okay, we're going to get a girlfriend, stay with her for 1.5 years, get a lab, specifically a lab.
Every time,
and then we're going to buy her a house in her hometown and then dump her. One, while she's deployed in the military, like, you couldn't even wait. But I did listen to the BFFs episode. Did you?
I just watched a bunch of clips on it from the Barstool TikTok.
Yeah. No, Barstool was lighting it up. So, but I listened to the episode yesterday because I saw the clips and I was like, okay, I want to listen to it. And I'm going to be honest. I know she did not sign the NDA for it. Okay, I'll back up. Anybody who doesn't know what we're talking about, Brianna Chicken Fry, she works for Dave Portnoy at Barstool Sports. She has a several successful podcasts. And she's on the BFFs podcast with Dave and Josh Richards.
Mm-hmm.
And she is very well known for just being an influencer, TikTok, but also dating Zach Bryan for the last year and a half.
Mm-hmm. And they were engaged.
Oh, they were talking about getting married. They're talking about they bought this house to have their kids. They were making videos to show their future kids of like their love. And I'm like, this is super wholesome and super fucking sad because he's a piece of shit. Anyways.
Yeah.
So I watched the episode. It all came out. She was offered $12 million. A lot of negotiating. Here you can have the Massachusetts house. You can have the New York apartment. You can have this. You can have that. $12 million signed this NDA. And she went back and forth, really. More like morally. I think he had beat her down emotionally to the point that she thought she needed that money.
Mm-hmm.
And when she said on there, I was who I am before him. I'm going to be who I am after him. I'm going to be okay because I'm me. Like, I have a successful career, blah, blah, blah. I was like, yes. Like, go off, okay? Because he was trying to bribe her to shut up about how terrible he is. Which now, this has us thinking, how many other celebrity cases, why do we never hear anything after divorces and breakups? I bet they all have fucking NDAs. I bet this is 100%. Commonplace. And she's just one that said, no, fuck it, I don't need your money. Dave even, like, the audio of the text that he sent to the attorney for, like, on behalf of her is, like, super viral right now of being, like, I have Dave Portnoy energy.
I sent this to the lawyer. Hey, this is Dave Portnoy. I don't know who the fuck you think you are dealing with. I've been nice so far. Pay Bri ASAP or I'm coming for Zach's throat. Bri won't have a say in it anymore. Josh won't have a say. I can pay Bri myself. I've tried to stay out of it, but stop, all caps, fucking around. Pay her or shut the fuck up. I'm losing patience.
It's like, these women are like, if anyone fucks with my sister, and then starts reading this text, he reads it on air. He is like, I'm coming for Zach's throat. Quit fucking around. Like, he's like, I can wire Bri this money in 5 minutes. You're full of shit. Like, I mean, he was going off. Anyways, I think that there's a lot more to it. I think she knows she can say it because she didn't sign the NDA, but I think she's still traumatized. And I think she doesn't. She's embarrassed. It's very abundantly clear she's embarrassed. She says it multiple times. I feel stupid. And she shouldn't be. Like, it happens all the time. Like, it's not her fault. But I think her friend Grace signed an NDA. And that's the reason. Because I don't know if you heard about her birthday party thing.
Mm-mm.
So at her birthday, so she had this birthday party. Zach was like, pretty much anything that was about her, he was a tool. He would, like, find a way to fight and ruin her night, which is, like, typical toxic, shitty, small man, pun intended, small man behavior. And it was her birthday, and he was there, and apparently he gets stupid when he drinks, which I think everyone kind of knew. This is public info. She went to bed before midnight before her birthday, and all of her friends were like, what are you doing? She did that to try to get Zach to go with her, to, like, stop him from being himself, pretty much.
Yeah.
And he didn't. She goes to bed, she falls asleep, wakes up to, like, screaming and crying an hour or two later. Every girl in the party is screaming and crying. And he apparently went line by line and was like, you're a fat, ugly loser, you're not like, literally just attacked all of her friends. That she didn't say, she was very vague. So this is what makes me think. There was videos of this happening. And she said the video will never be out. But I know her friend Grace had the video. She said that. So I think the way she, like, finalized it and was vague, I think Grace signed an NDA and took some money to not talk about that specific instance. But it's kind of eye-opening that, especially with how public they were on social media, like, you don't know what the fuck's going on behind the scenes. Because they looked like
100%.
America's couple, you know?
Yeah. It was very telling when she was like, when I love you, like, I am so loyal and, like, basically ride or die. She's like, but that was never reciprocated. And that, like, kills me. That hurt so much.
Yeah. And it would be one thing. Here's my deal. And I'm not trying to get, like, any sort. I'm a woman. I feel like I can say this. if you want to be the kind of girl that Zach Bryan wanted her to be, that's okay. Mm-hmm. That's fine. My problem is when he gets a girl like Bri, who's obviously driven, successful woman, loves what she does. She's super excited about her podcast tour and all of this shit, and he tries to make her what he wants her to be. If she wants to be the girl that drops everything and follows him around on tour, that is great. Like, that's fine. Happily ever after. Like, it seems like he would be fine if that's how she wanted to be. Because every time he would be terrible was when she would have her own life. So, not saying it's okay to treat people that way. I'm just saying I don't think that their lifestyles clicked. Obviously, what he wants and what she wants were different things. And I think it became toxic because obviously he's got issues. Fuck that guy. But if a woman wants to, like, just follow a guy around on a tour bus, like, cool. That's awesome. Yeah. If that's your dream and that's what you want to do. Obviously, that wasn't hers. You just don't need to force some sort of lifestyle on someone that they don't want.
Yeah, and the fact that she wasn't allowed to listen to Noah Kahan because it was too much, like, just shows his level of insecurity, because he claims that Noah is a friend of his. So why wouldn't you want your significant other to support your friend?
Yeah, he's got some insecurities. Also, the Morgan Wallen thing. Did you see that? Okay, so apparently she had been on TikTok. She said, I'm guessing this was last year, because you remember when last night was like every other TikTok, and you know, it was like last night, and it's just so easy to get stuck in your head. I am a diehard Morgan Wallen fan, and I say this, like, it's probably one of his most easy songs to get stuck in your head. It's just really catchy. Anyways, she apparently was just like in the kitchen cooking or walking up the stairs or something, like doing some domesticated woman shit, and was like, last night we let, like, just joking because it was stuck in her head. He lost his shit. He said, how dare you sing that under my roof in this house that I own? Lost his fucking shit. So all these people on TikTok were like, Morgan, get Brianna on stage. Like, bring her ass out. But she said I wasn't allowed to listen to Morgan Wallen, and that's when the Noah Kahan thing came up too. Because she really likes Noah Kahan. He's like her favorite artist.
Yeah.
Morgan Wallen's song was just stuck in her head. But someone put the stats up, and it's probably specifically Morgan Wallen, because Morgan Wallen beat him in streams last year. His tour was number 2 to Morgan Wallen's tour. It was just like he's literally number 2 in everything behind Morgan Wallen. And Morgan didn't even do a new album last year, and Zach did.
Yeah.
So they were like, he doesn't even have to do a new album to beat you. But I'm sure that probably had something to do with it. Because when you're like that kind of guy, you want to be number 1. I feel like. But
he is clearly just a very, I mean, like the song said, the smallest man in the world.
That diss track, though, let's just talk about how much of a banger it was when we could still listen to it.
Love it. I'm sure there will be a way that it comes about again.
I heard today, I was on TikTok before this, like, doing some research, and I got caught. Dave said that there's going to be a Dave's version. You know Dave is, like, a diehard Swiftie. Did you know that? Which is so funny to me, but...
Yes.
Unexpected. But, he said there's going to be a Dave's version because the only reason it got taken down is because Josh had signed some agreement in 2020 with the same record label that Zach's on. I'm like, what are the fucking odds? I don't even think he knew. They had lawyers look at it. He said it's pretty ironclad. Like, I don't
for 5 songs.
That he knew the extent of what all he was signing. And it's 4 years later. He probably didn't even remember what it was for. And so Dave has no association with them whatsoever. Apparently they wrote several more songs, enough to do like an entire album. He said, I'm like, everybody needs friends like Dave and Josh. Genuinely. Yes. He bought the car. Did you hear? Or he's trying to buy the car for her. Did you hear about that? Bri was this is some control shit right here too. Bri was so excited because she'd started like making money and being successful. She was going to do her first big girl like permanent purchase and buy a $70,000 Bronco, like a new Bronco. And Zach was like, no, let me buy it for you, like, as a gift. Like, let me buy it for you. Which, like, first thought, you're like, okay, that's really sweet. Like, he obviously does make a lot more money than her. Like, I mean, come on. I'd criticize Anastasia and 50 Shades of Grey for trying not to take that fucking car. I say get the free car.
Yeah.
But I'm like, okay, at first glance, like, it's really sweet. Well, then when they're breaking up, she reaches out and was like, hey, how can I want this, I want the Bronco, like, can I pay you for it? I don't know how the title is or whatever. He just comes up with it. She doesn't think he even paid for it. She thought he went and talked to Ford and did some sort of Zach Bryan deal. So she's trying to buy it, but then Dave ends up just cutting in and is like, Zach sends his wiring instructions and Dave's like, I'll send you 80 grand right now for Bri to get this fucking Bronco. I will buy it for her, because he was being such a crazy person about it. And then Dave was like, wait, I want to know the details on the title. And it's like been real sketchy. And because he's like, I'm not giving him 80 grand for him to have the title in his name. Like, and then it's still hers. He can just, or his, he can come get it. Like, he's like, I want the proof, like, that the title's in Bri's name. And that, like, kind of ended. So I'm assuming that he didn't even own it. She thinks he made some deal with Ford. Which,
that wouldn't surprise me.
Big celebrities get free vehicles from big vehicle manufacturers just to be like one post on their Instagram that they bought a Bronco. Like, it's insane. Like, there's so much more. Like, he got a tattoo of her name within 5 days of meeting her on his body, and that wasn't a red flag. I'm not victim blaming, but kind of a red flag for me.
Oh yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, even with Anastasia, with independent women, like, men like the idea of an independent woman until they realize they can't control them. And then they're like, oh, fuck, what did I do? Like, let me backtrack and then just love bomb them to convince them to kind of give up some of their will to do what I want to do and make me happy because they think it's their idea then. And then that's where you get more of that manipulation and just kind of dragging them along. Because, I mean, literally my first husband did it, and then my ex did it, and I'm like, fuck, how am I such an idiot? Like, you just feel so dumb afterward, but then, like, in the moment, you're like, I'm just, doing whatever it takes to make my significant other person, like, happy.
I'm just a girl. You're literally just a girl.
I want to be happy and make them happy. So it's just the easiest route to go. And then you're like, man, looking back, that was so dumb.
Hindsight's 20/20, they say.
Oh yeah.
But also, like,
under a microscope.
As women, we have it, like, in our nature to want to care for others. And that people, you guys may come at me about that, but it's true. Genuinely true. I don't even have children, and I have instincts that my husband does not have, okay? I have little bitty things about me that men don't even think about. And I'm not talking poorly about men. They're not wired the same way. They aren't wired to be the take care of people, make people happy, keep the peace. Like, I will say some shit. I will be controversial. If you're listening and you haven't figured that out already, like, listen again. But at the same time, my nature, and I feel like this is every woman, whether you suppress it or not, is to want to care for people that you care about. You want to make the people you care about happy. You want to be some sort of support, peacekeeper, just like, you want to take care of things. I feel like that's just natural for women in general. And so when you have somebody like that, you want to just do whatever you can to take care of them, to make them happy, to people please, for lack of a better word, and you don't realize you're doing it. And then when your friends flag it, that person says, your friend just hates me, they're trying to tear us apart, and the friend's like, that guy's a dick, and then it's like, oh, you're just trying to break us up, and it just becomes this toxic, which I think is what has happened to Bri. I think her and her friend Grace have had, lifelong best friend, have had a bit of a tiff over this, because no one liked Zach. Dave, nobody liked him before all this, and the people who are closest to you can, like, see that shit, whether you tell it or not. They can see it.
Yeah, and that's how a lot of manipulators alienate their victims, because the friends and family are saying, like, do you not see these red flags? Like, we really don't like the way this person treats you. We don't like the things that they're doing. And you're blinded by love or adoration and you make excuses. And that's exactly what Bri did. And that's kind of where that like guilt and sometimes even like disgust with yourself is like comes from, because you're like, why? Like, I wouldn't do this for a friend if they were making bad decisions. Like, I wouldn't make excuses for them. Why did I feel the need or even want to make excuses for this person that literally I haven't known that long? Yeah. But it's just to kind of keep the peace. So you make excuses, and the friends and family stop coming around as much because they don't want to be around that, and they don't want you to keep having to make excuses and do things like that. So it just makes that division further and further every time you're around each other.
Yeah. No, for sure. You nailed it. You nailed it. And I think that Bri describes that pretty well.
Yeah.
Happening, and you don't realize because it's little by little, and then you look back and you're like, shit.
Yeah.
This sucks.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that hasn't happened to me, but I've definitely seen it.
Yeah, so. I think at some point or other, we've all kind of experienced that with a friend or family member or ourselves. So it is easy to recognize.
It's far too common, if you ask my opinion. Yeah. Hopefully this whole thing will like bring some awareness to it too. I think that's the reason she says, like, I'm not going to go through and complain about every single thing about this guy. I'm going to share my experiences because they're mine. I'm not going to go into anything else, his personal stuff, because apparently he's got some shit. I don't know his home backstory. I don't know I just know he's from Oklahoma, but apparently he's got some shit, and she really handled it with tact, because she didn't, like, she could have attacked his looks. She could have brought up the STD thing, which is all public. She could have brought all that up, and she didn't. Josh and Dave definitely were. Yeah. She was more of a, like, he emotionally abused me. I feel so stupid. Like, these were flags, and then, talks about it. And how perfect it was for, like, the first 4 or 5 months. Apparently it was, like, a dream, which is kind of what everybody says, and that sucks that people can be so fucking fake.
Yeah. Love bombing.
Anyways, okay, enough of ZB and his STDs. Outer Banks 5th and final season, part 2 is out.
No, right? This is 4.
4.
This is 4, so we still get one whole more season.
No, Chase Stokes posted about this being the last season.
He posted about they're about to start recording the last season.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fact check my ass, because I thought that this was done. Stick a fork in it, done.
I thought it was too, and then they posted just, I think yesterday or the day before. I just saw it yesterday. That it was always intended to be 5 seasons.
Okay. Well, season 4, part 2 is out. Tisha says it's good so far. I have not gotten into it yet, but I read that a lot of people hate it. So I guess once Tisha finishes, she can give us her opinion.
Yeah, I still have, just started episode 9. So there's a full 2 episodes to go, which
I'm sure with all the fun stuff, the last couple are always.
Yeah, they're always so, it's just like mind-blowing.
Okay. Book talk drama. What you got for us? Anything fun?
Not fun. Why does it always do that? As soon as I open it again, it's like, oh, hey, let's go back to the very beginning.
Oh, I hate that. Like a little refresh.
So dumb. Yeah. Let's see. For number 1, a reader posted about a book they were ARC reading, and someone in the comments asked them to pirate their pirate their copy of a book and send it to them. Which we've been over this time and time again. You get an ARC as like a trust thing. They're giving you this piece of them, and they trust that you're not going to try to make money off of it or just send it to people for free. So stop.
Yeah, that's just the audacity. That's what the audacity.
Yeah, it's so stupid.
Entitlement. Idiots.
100%. Number 2, someone got really mad that they can't get on-demand audiobook rentals the way you can rent movies on Prime, which at first made me mad, but now I'm like, I don't know. It would be cool if I could rent an audiobook for like 2 weeks for $5. Anywho, would anyone like my very long and overly detailed advice about how to be a mood reader while using Libby?
That's funny.
Yeah.
Also, I do think that would be cool.
Yeah.
For a lower rate. But, sometimes you're on Prime and you're like, it's $8.99 to buy the movie and it's $4.99 to rent the movie, so I'm just going to buy it.
Yeah.
In case I want to watch it again.
And I've, over the last couple of years, been more in the, like, put on my tinfoil hat, like, prepper mode. Like,
oh, yeah.
Buying DVDs again. And they're actually hard to find.
You've been buying okay, I know you're a prepper because like my husband is too. But like I didn't realize you were like buy DVDs prepper. Like next you're gonna be looking for VHSs.
I don't think I'll go that far.
Okay.
Unless it's like something like really old classic that I can't ever find in a DVD, which
like
is
the Orange Rugrats movie.
Yes. Which they say doesn't exist.
I'm telling you, I wish that my parents would have kept all that shit, because those are worth some money nowadays.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
I know for a fact I had that Orange Rugrats cassette. I watched it all the time. Speaking of DVDs, I got a new car and has TVs in it, and last night we were at dinner. Tisha roasted me. In the best way, I laughed almost the entire way home because I got a new car, and we used to have a ton of DVDs, and in the car, you either have to plug, like, an HDMI for, like, I'm guessing, like, from your phone to it, or for, like, a computer or whatever. Or you can use, like, an actual DVD player, and I looked at all the movies we had, and the first one I found was the 4-movie collection of Shrek. We have no kids. I'm obsessed with Shrek. I love Shrek. So no one was surprised that this is the movies that I have in my car. And we were talking about that or suspect trend on TikTok. Tell them what you said.
I said suspect is an adult, but she watches Shrek 27 times a year.
And then I thought of one back for you too. Suspect is an adult but drinks hot chalky instead of coffee.
Literally.
I'm telling you, I get really red when I laugh, if you guys can't tell. The entire way home, Jess and I would just be sitting there for a second, and then I would just start laughing hysterically, and he's like, what? And I'm like, Shrek.
Oh, man.
But that was hilarious.
Yeah.
Do we want to talk about the book now? We're 40 minutes in.
Yeah.
You have any more book talk drama? Or are we ready for the book?
I was just looking at, just more people being shitty fucking humans and tagging authors in negative reviews and posts, and why.
Yeah, no point.
Stop being shitty humans.
Yeah. If you want to write like a review on Goodreads or something, like do that. Don't just go, excuse me. Yeah. Don't just go and be a dick for no reason.
Yeah.
That goes in all aspects of life. That's all I'm going to say.
For sure.
Okay. From Blood and Ash. Here we go. I think we already talked about it. We both really liked this book. I know you said it earlier. Spoilers. Yep. Spoilers for just the first book. Tisha's read most of the second. I have not. Mm-hmm. I finished it and started this. So, I don't think there's really any triggers. There wasn't any trigger warnings at the beginning of the audio. Mm-hmm. Maybe parental death not depicted.
Mm-hmm. Blood.
It's talked about. Lots of blood. Fighting, death. You know, typical female main character romantasy fantasy series. And nothing else really traumatic. Well, there's some abuse. Mm-hmm. The Duke.
Yeah. Motherfucker.
Yeah, he got it. He got what was coming. Okay, let's dive in. My first question I came up with was like, any big revelation moments that stood out to you? For me, I kind of guessed that he was the prince. I didn't guess that he was a vampire.
Yeah.
But I kind of had guessed that he was the prince because of the authoritative nature when the cat came out of the bag, that they were on the other side, and how everyone acted towards him, which wasn't like super early, but I could tell like he was definitely
someone of authority,
in an authoritative figure. But I loved when she snuck out to like go fight the Craven and everything, and they had like their little sexual tension banter fight. Okay.
Yes.
Woo! But also when he like got in her ear and was like, Penelope, and she was like, ah, shit. like I'm busted. Which by the end of the book you get he know a lot more, but at the time you thought, oh shit, he is really observant. He is really good. I literally cackled at that part. I loved it.
Yeah.
What about you? What was your big like revelation?
Pretty similar. Just realizing how he explains everything, and then like just the realization that they're vampires. I was like, oh, okay.
Little razzle dazzle, not fairies here.
Yeah. I was really confused by the whole like ascended and like what are they? What does this mean for them? Like, why do they have to give up these children? And like, what is this like sacrifice? Because I knew that's what it had to be that they were doing with the kids. Like, they don't just
never get seen.
Whatever. Yeah. And then it never really registered until they talked about the ascended, like not being seen in the day. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, and then they said like the sundown. Like as soon as I started to put two and two together with her times, like I was like, oh shit, okay. But also the right thing, like where you give up your kids, like the first quarter of the book, I was like, oh, this is like a draft, like a mandatory draft for after the first kid, you get to keep one, and then you get whatever else. And then when that person started asking what happens to the kids and like questioning and stuff, I started to think like, okay, there's got to be some like Night King level shit going on. Which, you know, I don't know for a fact, but based on what has been said at this point, that's what it sounds like. But I'm not trusting anything from a first book. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I've learned my lesson. I've learned my lesson. We get a good baseline, but I ain't taking shit to heart until probably the end of book 2, maybe even book 3, okay?
Yeah.
But no, I feel like there was a lot of good revelation moments. I had actually heard some pretty, I'm going to say I went in open-minded. I'd heard some pretty bad things about JLA's writing.
Huh.
By a couple of different, like, people who are my actual friends, not just, like, shit talkers on the internet.
Yeah.
So, I was pleasantly, like I said, I tried to go on open-minded either way, so I was pleasantly surprised. I think it's just probably personal preference stuff, but...
Yeah.
Okay, this book's trope was secret identities. I didn't even realize that was a trope, but I get it, I guess.
Yeah.
Do you like the way that it was incorporated on both sides? Because I feel like there was a lot of that in this book.
Yeah, I liked it, and it gave kind of that air of mystery between the two of them, because neither one really knew what each other was. Like, they had this idea, or I mean, at least we thought. They had this idea, but then so much more information comes to light, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah. I also, like, want to just point out that what a terrible fucking life it would be to have to wear a veil or a mask or just, like, go through half the shit she did just because you're supposedly chosen. And then how they openly talked about the scar on her face being like, oh, one half's perfect and one half's...
And the other half's just awful. Like...
And okay, so question. Did you get the vibe that the general, like, got off on Pain because he, like, made her move her hand so he could see her boobs while she was getting beat?
Yeah.
She didn't, like, clearly depict that, but that's definitely the vibe I got.
Very sadomasochistic.
Yeah, no, I was like, wait, so she covered her breasts, which I feel like if you're a woman in a naked situation and you're uncomfortable, the first thing you're gonna do is this.
Yeah.
And that. That's the first thing we're gonna do.
Yeah. It's just natural.
Like, if I could picture her, you know, being like getting beat and covering herself, and then him like moving. I'm like, what the actual fuck?
Yeah.
Awful. So, you know, Go off, queen, when she took that motherfucker out.
Yes.
Okay, did you like Poppy and Hawk, like, as the leading lady and guy? Like, I'm saying Poppy and Hawk before we find out the rest. Did you like them in the first part of the book, or did you think, like, I don't know, to predict? I don't know. What were your thoughts?
Yeah, I liked them together.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it was it was the banter for me, like just like the kind of cutesy back and forth, but also like not taking each other's shit. It was funny.
And every time he'd be like, "You're a violent one. I like it. I'm aroused." Like he liked the tough girl, and then they'd be like, she'd literally be trying to kill him, and he's like, "Oh my god, you are exquisite." I was like, I loved that. I think that's so fun.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I really liked him too. Banter's great in this. And I was surprised because at the beginning of the book, I feel like she talked about how she doesn't know how to interact with people because she wasn't allowed to. So I think it speaks a lot for like that guard she had that was her father figure. I think he molded a lot of that or trained a lot of that into her. Because her friend and then her little lady's maid and the guards were like the only people she's allowed to talk to. So it's good that she's still like was so well adjusted and like quick with it banter. I think it could have been that she was like a recluse and crazy and didn't know how to talk to people.
Yeah, it makes it just hard to connect with anybody. So the fact that they were able to kind of find that connection so quickly after meeting each other was nice.
Yeah. Yeah, and of course in a fantasy world, we have the first book is always world building. How do you think she did with this world building? I actually followed it very well, and I thought she did a great job. It wasn't too crazy. Yeah,
it wasn't like too intricate or detailed. Like there wasn't a lot left out, I felt like.
Yeah, it was like enough to give me a picture, but not so much that it's an entire page, Tolkien style, describing a door.
Yeah.
Or like Crescent City, where like the first half of the book, I'm still like, who's what, where, what's this? A Asteri, an angel, what?
Yeah.
I felt like it was pretty good, and she didn't introduce all the characters and the different like. My next question talks about like some staple fantasy characters. She doesn't introduce them all at once. She mentions like, oh no, they're extinct, and that's the Wolven. Yeah. And then she calls them something other than vampires, but it sounds very close to vampires. And then the Ascend, like when she introduced them one by one, it wasn't like you just come into this town and there's 50 different things, and it was like, okay, we have this setting, we have this woman, her guards. Then we start adding in the other elements, and I think that the way she set that up made it a lot easier for me personally to like grasp everything.
Same. Yeah, I didn't catch myself having to like backtrack and be like, okay, wait, who was that? And how do they like tie into this?
Yeah.
I had to do that multiple times with Crescent City.
Yeah. No, Crescent City is great, I will say, I thought, but it's hard. And it's not one that I can listen to like my normal speed on. I had to slow my speed down just because I needed to get it. And I felt like I'm on 2.5 is what I listen on right now. And I was able to listen on 2.5 to this one. But Crescent City, I had to slow down to like 1.8 or something like that, just to make sure that I grasped it. And I still was Googling and backing up. So, not saying it's a bad thing. It's just different. And I thought it was good and easy to follow. So, yeah. I'm excited for the second one now. Kind of ended on a, I can say it. We said spoilers. That they're going to go home and get married. And of course I'm team that, but she still can't decide if she hates him or if she's in love with him. I think she's just in her head said that she was in love with him, but I think she was a little blood drunk.
Yeah.
But I think there's going to be some sort of guy. I'm just saying, if I'm right, I have seen no spoilers and I have not read the book, so don't come at me for being a spoiler person because this is a guess. And I'm not going to say I'm right, but this is what I think. I think there's some sort of mate situation. I think she has a much more interesting backstory than anyone knows, and that's going to come out, and it's going to relate somehow to make her this powerful princess, like he keeps calling her, jokingly, princess, Because what's a main male character without a nickname for the female main character? I mean, come on,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So that's my prediction. She is of much more importance than we know, bloodline wise. And she is some sort of princess or very high level bigwig person. And it relates to him, of course, which I still want to call him Hawk, but his name's Cass. We're gonna switch to Cass now, I guess.
Yeah, Castile Denier.
Yeah. Woo! He sounds hot.
Yeah, I saw those. Somebody had a Halloween post, and it was like Castile Denier makes me lose my sheet.
Okay, so I'm like working on my morally gray book boyfriend list, and he's definitely on it. Like, he earned his way on that spot today. Is the narrator in this the same one for Crescent City and ACOTAR? She sounds super familiar.
Yeah, I recognized her voice somewhere. I don't remember if it is or if it was like a Colleen Hoover is what I was thinking it was.
It's something. Let me look at my saved. Narrated by Stina, Stina Nielsen.
Okay.
Can I click on her name?
Yep, she did. ACOTAR.
Okay, I knew something. Man, I'm proud of myself. Audiobooks narrated. Oh, she's read all of JLA's. Wait, there's a lot of these books.
I know, I'm looking at like, holy shit.
We're like, how many is there? I think there's 8. Yeah, she did ACOTAR. I thought she did Nesta's voice, because when she said something in this, I remember her being like, I'm down in the cold, you know, like,
yeah.
It's like, okay, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there's 7.
Damn.
If these are all the same series.
I think it's like 2 series that you read kind of concurrently or like back to back.
Okay.
Because I don't know. I was looking into it the other day and I was like, wait a minute, do I want to get into this? Because this is a lot. But I think Brittany at dinner the other night, she's like, I like the first few, but the last few are like a retelling, kind of like a different POV.
Okay.
So she's like, didn't love those. So it's similar to like the Christian Grey and all of that, like just kind of almost a duet of the same book.
Midnight Sun, that sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, got it.
Yeah.
So. All right. Any other quotes or anything to add that stuck out to you or you want to mention?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, because I don't want to spoil anything.
Yeah, don't spoil anything. We want to hear from you guys. Do we want to do an episode each week for all 7 of these, or do we want to condense? I kind of am open to either way, whatever you think, Tisha. But you guys let us know too.
Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be okay to do one a week.
Okay, works for me. And I'm enjoying them, so this is fun.
Yeah, I like doing it when we are just like fresh reading it, because rereading it always like ruins the book for me.
Yeah, because I always like nitpick. The first time is magical. The second time is go from 5 to 3 stars. I think we've talked about this.
Literally.
So, yes, it's fun. We need to start reading the same, because a lot of times what happens, for you guys' insight, one of us has read a book and the other one either reads it fresh or rereads, or it's something both of us have read 2 years ago that we like and want to recover. And so I feel like we're on this fun journey of let's read a new book each week. And it'll be fresh and fun and magical.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Sounds great.
So next week it will be
Kingdom of Flesh and Fire.
Yeah. And there's a lot. So, yeah.
I'm excited.
Okay. Go follow our socials: Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and Facebook. And be sure to subscribe to our Spotify and our YouTube. And we'll talk to you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.